Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone's doing really, really well. I'm going ahead and admitting a bunch of people into the room as everybody joins us, and we're going to have a great session here today. I am going to be making sure that everybody's muted. This session is being recorded, just an FYI, so that you guys can get a recording afterwards. But I'm going to just allow everyone a moment to get in here while I grab a drink of water. Make sure you guys are all settled in. You have something to take notes on, and today's going to be a really, really exciting session that I cannot wait to present. I'd love to have you guys perhaps also use the chat in the meantime and let us know where you guys are joining us from and how long you've been in the business. So if you want to just introduce yourself in the chat and let me know how long you've been in the business and where you guys are joining us from, I would love to hear from you guys. And people are typically late, so I will allow everyone maybe another 4 or 5 minutes to join so that we give everyone an opportunity to be online. Okay, Toronto Barbara for 2 years. What about the rest of you guys? I see some familiar names here. Would love to have you guys introduce yourselves. Kelowna, Oakville. Okay, love it. Amazing. Vancouver, Toronto, 6 months. Okay, so we've got some new people. We've got people who've been in the business for a number of years. I love that. What a diverse room. And as I'm allowing people in, please continue introducing yourselves. And I also want to take a minute and say well done to everyone who's here today because it is July, it is summer, and most people don't want to take the time out because they're already in holiday mode and they don't really want to be taking the time to learn anything at this point. So, anyone that's here and is showing up, well done. I think you guys should be very proud of yourselves because this time of year usually is very quiet. But since we're here, we're going to make the most of this next hour that we have together. And while we're waiting for other people to show up, we'll give it another 2 minutes. Who's watching the World Cup? And let me know in the chat what team you're supporting. And hopefully you're enjoying it. Who's supporting what team? Okay, so we've got an Egypt supporter here. Who else do we have? You guys have got to be watching the World Cup. It's happening in North America. What teams are we supporting? And you guys can say England, and I will definitely love that. Okay, we've got Spain and England. Amazing. No one else is watching? Oh no. Croatia and now Spain. Okay. Okay, I love that. Croatia had a very good game. If anybody watched the England match though, that was something. We've got Colombia playing amazing too. Yep. Love it, love it. Who else are we supporting? God, the US is savage. Well, Canada had a really good game. Canada, I think I was very impressed with the Canadian team, I'll be honest. Um, See, my guess is it's going to be, and I could be slightly partial here, but I do believe it might be an England-France final. So I'm not sure what's going to happen, but it would be really nice to have England come on. By the way, none of you except for one person have actually said England. So I don't know if we can be friends now. But without any further ado, I am going to go ahead and get started over here. We're just at 5 minutes past the hour. I want to respect everyone's time that's here today. England France would be a good game, Michelle. That would be a very good game. And who do we have here? Okay, Canada, Spain, right? Perfect. So, officially, welcome you guys. I'm really excited to have you guys here. We're going to have a jam-packed 45 to 50 minutes now for the next little while where we're going to talk about some of the things that are working right now as far as campaigns are concerned for real estate agents. Now, these are campaigns that are proven, that we are actively applying for clients that are working, that are getting them results. And I think what's really, really important to know is as though, as much as the market may be up and down, as much as a lot of things are up in the air right now, the one thing that you need to predictably build is your own business and your own system. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll be jumping back and forth between my screen and I will be sharing with you guys some stories on here, but we're going to keep this interactive, we're going to keep this engaging, and we're going to do our best over here to give you guys as much value as possible in the next 45 to 50 minutes as people continue to join us. All right, so I'll go ahead and share my screen. So today is about campaigns. Today is about campaigns that realtors can use to create, capture, and convert more client conversations in this market. Okay. So for those of you who do know me, I've been in this business now for over 13 years. I've seen it from various facets. I don't want to talk about myself for too long, but there are some new people here. And if you've never attended one of my sessions, what qualifies me to speak on this topic today is the fact that I have run a top producing team myself here in the Toronto area for over 6 years, and I've also been coaching realtors for shy of 8 years now. And I have seen the industry from various facets, and it's allowed me to just gain a perspective that has helped many people as they build out their businesses. So we're going to do something slightly different here today. So one of the things that I want to work with, and I always work with, and I really think is something that agents don't think about enough, is how safe they feel within the structure of the business that they are creating and the mindset piece that goes behind building a business. So here's something I want you to say out loud, or if you have a pen and paper handy, I want you to actually literally like write it down. And I want you to write down or say out loud a couple times, I'm an agent that runs a real business. And I want you to tell me in the chat how that makes you feel in your body. When you say, I'm an agent that runs a real business, how does that make you feel? Does it give you, do you feel resistance? Do you feel really good saying it like that's an actual statement? Or does it feel like it's an aspiration that you'd like to get to? Or does it feel, how does it feel? Patty says proud. I love that. Proud and positive. I love this. Thank you for sharing. Rest of you, come on, let's refer to the chat. How does it make you feel when you write that? Does it make you feel proud? Does it make you feel like, I love that? Proud, motivating. I'm an agent that runs a real business. Ambitious, empowered, proud. I love that. I love that. That's the energy we're here for today. And that is the energy we're going for today. We want to feel empowered. We want to feel proud. We want to feel positive. And aspiration, to be honest, Ramneet, that's good. Thank you for sharing that because honestly, a lot of people aspire to have a real business, but in this industry, a lot of us are running from transaction to transaction to transaction, and we're not running a real business. So that is good. I really like that you're being honest with yourself and the rest of us. Thank you for being vulnerable. And the rest of you, feel free to share and continue sharing. I'll be switching between the chat and like making sure I'm checking. But this is such an important statement, right? And I want this to be the reality for every single person that's on here today, that you are an agent that runs a real business. You have to have that aspiration. And most of us are running a version of a business that we think is a real business. But the thing that helps you grow, and that is such a huge driver behind your success and the growth that you have in this business is that your business can only grow to the level your nervous system can hold, okay? It's not always your goals, it's not your vision board necessarily, it's the capacity to feel safe. And the biggest problem with that is most agents use leads. They use leads and they buy leads because they think leads are the thing that's going to help them grow. They think leads is what's going to help them regulate. So they have a thin pipeline, they'll go and get more leads, but then the moment they start getting busy, they kind of drop on getting the leads because now I'm busy, I'm only looking at what's in front of me. Now I have business. Oh, I got a referral. Oh, I got a referral. And then all of a sudden I'm waking up the next day. I don't know where my next deal's coming from. Oh, let me go get some leads. Let me go quickly run some ads. Let me go do some damage control. Leads are coming in. Oh, I can breathe again. I can breathe again. And we stay on this up and down up and down. And this is so important. Thank you, Michelle. I think it's so important that we speak about a nervous system. And why this is important is because if anybody has come from a corporate background or had a job in their life, they don't know what this feeling is that we constantly feel unless we have a system and unless we're running a business. They have that safety of a bi-weekly paycheck that keeps their nervous system very regulated. They're able to shut off at 5 p.m. and not worry. They're not thinking. Their brains are not constantly running around and they're not chasing anything because there's nothing to worry about. They feel safe. And for so many real estate agents, that feeling of safety is missing. And they think that feeling of safety only comes from getting more leads. But that is like that quick dopamine hit that you're giving your system because the leads are a temporary fix. Not to say you don't need leads. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if leads are the only thing you focus on the moment business starts to dip a bit or the market starts to dip a bit, then you are doing your nervous system a huge disservice. And while there's many regulation tactics, the biggest thing that you're missing in your business is structure. And if there's one thing you're going to take away from today's session, it is this. Regulation comes from structure. A dysregulated agent with no system will spiral. A dysregulated agent with installed systems will still execute because you are not relying on just what's in front of you. You have a system that allows you to run a predictable business. And that predictability gives us safety. And we need to feel safe. Otherwise, your cortisol is going to spike and you're going to constantly feel on edge and you're going to constantly feel this rush. And then this, you're going to feel the rush, then you're going to feel down, and then you're going to feel rush. And it's going to be directly proportionate to how you're feeling that day and what's on your table, on what's on your plate that day. We don't want to feel like that anymore. We want to separate ourselves from that roller coaster. And for that reason, I'm so passionate about helping agents just like yourself build out processes and build out systems because I know exactly what it's like to feel that way. Everybody has different pain points. Maybe that pain point for you right now is your pipeline. Maybe that pain point from you right now is you have a lot of business, but you don't have the right support. You're not fulfilling enough. Maybe that pain point for you is you have leads, but you don't know how to convert them and you know you're leaving business on the table and you know you need structure for that. But it doesn't matter what area of your business is not structured. It will contribute to you not feeling safe in your business. And when you feel safe and you have a structure within which you're operating, it changes how you show up, changes the energy, it changes the results big time. And all of a sudden, you are able to achieve those goals with ease because now you're not relying on what's in front of you in that moment. You're relying on a system that you have created that allows you to measure, control, predict what you're going to do. And as we go along, you will see why this is so, so important. Okay. So the system is the regulation, it provides safety. And honestly, a lot of you will come, and I've been running webinars now for, I'm going to say shy of a decade, because I used to even coach when I was a real estate agent. And anytime I advertise a webinar that says, oh my God, come get more leads, come get more leads, the amount of people that show up is ridiculous. Like I will say for today's session, we had shy of 160 people registered, okay? And you'll see that if I was to do a lead generation or ads or anything like that, that just, gives them that quick dopamine hit or gives them that information, you'll get a lot more people show up. But that's the exact problem in our industry. So the issue is not a lack of information. You've bought the courses, you follow people, you can consume information all day long. You can go on AI and it will create a program for you. Honestly, information is not a problem. Installation is. When you install systems, when you actually install processes, you will 100% succeed in this business. I have zero doubt about that because you're not the problem. You don't have a character flaw. You're not lazy. You're not none of those things. A lot of those things are symptoms of a dysregulated nervous system, which is rooted in having no structure. So if this resonated with you, give me a thumbs up in the chat so I know that you guys are with me today here because we're going to talk about a lot of things here today and we're going to tackle a lot. If this resonated, give me a thumbs up so I know you guys are liking it. Where are we at? I got one thumbs up. Okay, what about the rest of you? There we go. All right, perfect. Now they're coming in. Thank you guys so much. I like it. I like it when you guys engage with me because it helps me to stay motivated throughout the course of this as well. Now, of course, systems are really, really important, and that's what we're going to talk about today. But we're going to talk about very specific systems that are actually getting my clients tremendous results right now. And I don't care where the market is or isn't, it's getting us results. Okay. So before we start, one thing I'd love to do is if you guys are on Instagram and don't have me on there yet, go ahead and add me. I'll follow you back, but share that you're here today. Share that you're here today. It helps you. It gives you something to show to your clients that, hey, I'm investing in myself and I'm learning and I'm growing and I'm putting in the effort to become better at what I do. And it helps me because it helps me to have content and show other agents that, look, we're doing this, come join it. So it's a win-win. Post a quick story. And for anybody that does, I usually do end up sending a little thank you template, kit, or something as a thank you for, mentioning us and sharing what we're doing here today. So you're not out of leads, right? You're not out of leads. You need a system, and what you need is conversations. So conversations is the biggest thing that you need. And there are two silent killers of conversations that are happening in our industry right now that I'm seeing. Okay. One is performance-based marketing. So performance-based marketing is what I see so many agents doing, right? So you might be posting content and it's very curated. You feel like you need to look a certain way. And it's this needy energy of like, I know I'm just posting so that I can get something. This is all performance-based marketing. And it's this ultra curated production level of content that most agents think they need to put out there in order to get more business, but the way that the society and the landscape of social media is shifting, less curated, the better. The more you're being authentic and being yourself and building your own personal brand, the better, because that's what people truly resonate with and that's what people want. And the other one is surface level content, right? So things like AI, automation, content factories, it's just noise. Honestly, it's just noise. Nobody cares about it. People scroll past it. They don't care about any of the recycled content because honestly, then you become a commodity. There's nothing valuable about you. But what actually creates results and is something you need to install in your pipeline and in your content is certainty. Certainty is huge. You shift from information. Now, this, by the way, applies to, and I don't care if it's in how you're having a conversation with your clients, in a phone call that you make to a lead, in a social media post that you create, in an email you send out. This applies to all communication channels. Certainty. If you stay in information mode, and all you're doing is telling people, hey, the market is up, the market is down. I'll send you some options. We'll do this, we'll do that. Inventory's up. You're basically just stating information that is readily available. In 2026, people have access to more information than they ever had before. You having or regurgitating information in any communication platform is not adding any value. Market's not that great in a lot of places right now. And I apologize, I'm coughing. Market's not that great, but in an uncertain market, what people need is certainty. And that certainty has to come from you. So the campaigns I'm about to show you guys, you need to apply this to those campaigns because certainty is key. You can get all of the business that you want, but unless you are able to lead people with certainty and map out a plan and get in that driver's seat for these people, nothing will shift. Nothing will shift. So, what you do with certainty is you essentially say, hey, based on your timeline, here's what I recommend. Here is what we are going to do next. This is based on the conversation you and I just had. This is what I would solve first. Here is the path I recommend, or here are the three paths I recommend. Now, without certainty, you do not sound convincing. You can implement as many, honestly, as many campaigns as you want, but when it comes to having that conversation, because we are going to install some processes today for you guys to attract more business. But in those conversations, the underlying tone needs to shift from information mode to certainty mode. You are not just giving out information that everybody already knows. You need to be certain. But for you to be certain, and I'm going to ask you guys this, why do you think so many agents are not certain? Why do you think so many agents are not certain when they're talking to their clients? Why do you think that that certainty piece is lacking? Tell me in the chat. I want your input. Why are we afraid to be certain when we're having conversations with people? Knowledge, Sophia, nail on the head. Yeah, knowledge. 100% lack of knowledge. Yeah. No research. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Fear. Millen, what are we afraid of? What are we afraid of? Why are we not showing up with certainty?
So I would say fear is kind of based on you think you have the answers, but you're afraid to put yourself out there for fear of being rejected in
Mm-hmm.
your thinking or analysis. I mean, I never used to think of that before, but now I do.
Mm-hmm.
That and now I've really adopted to having opinions and making sure all the content is not just regurgitated content, but actually is opinion based, something where you get to see me and what I think and how I feel. It took a while to get there, but
Mm-hmm. Thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate that. That's absolutely accurate.
sure.
So, and I'm going to go ahead and just mute you so that we don't have any interference with sound in the recording. Thank you, Milan. That was really, really helpful. And that was very valuable. And I'm pretty sure everybody on this call will be able to resonate with that. No clue about what they're talking about, immediate market and client. Yeah, we're afraid because we don't want to be held accountable for something. Hey, do I know enough about this? Let's keep it so simple, right? Do I know enough about this? Maybe I do, maybe I don't. I don't know. And if it is so if it is Amy, the Amy that I think I this is, I'm gonna, if you feel comfortable just chiming in for a second on how you felt before you started talking about the market, and then once we worked through that gap and you showing up with videos online and how that shifted for you, you can unmute yourself and share if that's something you're comfortable with. Um, but I think that is the biggest piece. That is the biggest piece is you feeling like you don't want to, do I know enough? Can I really do that? But then ask yourself, you're the realtor in this. You are the person guiding them. You are the person leading them. You are the leader in this. So it has to be you. It has to be you that does that. And without that certainty piece, conversion really suffers. The conversation suffers, the conversion suffers. So really, really think about that. We have to become very, very certain about what it is. So fill the gap, right? Take the time to fill the gap. And that's going to be so important, right? I can give you all the business in the world. And honestly, we can generate all the leads in the world and all of those things. But unless you are able to show up with certainty in front of clients, you are going to suffer on the conversion side. Because again, information explains the market said to help someone make the decision and move the needle. So, so important. Now, let's talk about the communication ladder, okay? So, I hear agents say this all the time, and I need you guys here to walk away without with that kind of myth debunked. And I don't even know if myth debunked is the right word for it, but you'll get what I'm saying. When I say, oh God, you need to post on social, I don't like it, it doesn't work. Oh, you need to do, emails. I don't really like doing emails. Emails don't really work. Honestly, there's no such thing as it doesn't work. There's no such thing as it doesn't work. It all works. It's a web, it's intertwined. You have to make it sticky, and every platform has its own depth of communication that you can deliver through it. So you cannot say, I'm going to do one thing and not this or that. It doesn't, it's not about you. You have to separate yourself and do not attach emotionally to any platform. And take yourself out of the consumer's hat and really start thinking like a marketer. And as a marketer, every platform has its own purpose. So if you're doing content on social media, it's building familiarity, right? People are getting familiar with you. Who are you? They watch your videos, they kind of get to know you a little bit. So there's that familiarity, okay? Um, if you're sending people DMs, direct messages, Instagram messages, Facebook messages, whatever the case may be, um, it's a low friction connection because it's easy to like slide into someone's DM and have a very low pressure conversation. There's very low friction. Usually people don't really mind. It's a social platform, so it's less intrusive to them, especially if they're connected with you already. Email, you can really build understanding. What I mean by that is when we help our clients build out emails all the time, where you can have nurture sequences where really helping them understand a certain topic. So you can start elaborating on some of the news, some of the updates in the market, things like that, really informing people. SMS is where movement starts, right? You're not going to have essays through text. You're not going to text somebody anything that involves something emotional. You shouldn't. In this business, you shouldn't. In life, you shouldn't, but in this business, especially, you shouldn't use text as a way to have important conversation. That needs to happen on the phone. That needs to be, or it needs to be in an email because text just kind of moves the needle forward, right? You kind of use it as a bridge between whatever, maybe they watched a video, then they DM'd you, then they gave you your number, now you're texting them, now you're gonna have a call with them, right? So think about that sequence. Um, Things like events, webinars, seminars really scare agents. It's one of the most underutilized way of actually growing your business. People don't do it enough, but honestly, it's so valuable. But that's where you have concentrated trust, right? If you have two people show up to an IG live or a podcast or a webinar, those people are spending half an hour with you, they are developing trust with you. Phone is, of course, when you call people, there's nuance, there's emotional conversation. An appointment is where the decision is made. Now, remember one thing. I know I've given you a sequence here, but this isn't a rigid funnel, okay? People move up, down, left, right, across from it. Your job is just to keep moving them towards a richer form of communication as you generate these leads through the campaigns we're about to speak about. Because the richer the mode of communication, the more likely you're able to move the needle and move them towards a decision. Okay. Super, super important. And once again, it's all a web, right? It is all part of a big plan here. I'm going to go ahead and share a testimonial with you guys. And, this client asked to stay, I'm going to go ahead and present this actually. I always get so scared with presenter mode, but can everybody see my screen? Can you guys see like my full-fledged screen? Yes? Just say yes or like type yes in the chat. Type yes in the chat. It's easier for me. Yeah? Okay, cool, cool. All right, so this client asked to stay anonymous, but this was in May. And this is somebody who started with us and they trusted the process. They trusted the system, right? They trusted the system, and year to date, which is this year, 2026, they were able to do 10 transactions, including leases, and six of those came directly through the processes I'm about to share here with you guys today. Okay. So I had to preface the processes by giving you the mindset piece because you have to apply that. Otherwise, you're not going to convert and then you're going to blame the system. But you have to trust the system. And you can see their numbers, right? The online lead conversions alone have accounted for approximately 200K in business so far out of the roughly 3K total. So they've tied 66% of that directly to the strategies that they've done with me. And these are the systems I'm about to share with you guys today. So anybody that says that something isn't working or they're being picky, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen with you guys here for a second, and I'll tell you what led to this success in a slow market, quote unquote, for this client specifically. They did not question the system. They had some resistance towards doing some of the things because they were new to them, right? They'd never really posted on social like that before. They'd never really run webinars before. They'd never really done these things before. But through the dips and through the busy periods, they stuck with the system. And I think that right there is what differentiates people who get success and those who don't, because ups and downs are there. there's going to be a period of building, a slow period where you're building these things up, and then you will start seeing success, right? I don't know if you guys have ever seen that depiction of like effort versus success and the results. At the beginning, there's more efforts, but then the results come. If you give up too soon, you may never see that success, or like that image that you see of like someone who's just like almost there and they're digging and they're digging and they're so close to gold, but then they give up. So I would say people that do see success in these things, they're definitely the ones that don't question the system. So I hope that you take seriously everything that I'm about to share with you guys here today, because quite honestly, there's so much value here. Now, before I get started, if you guys are interested in working with me and becoming a future client testimonial and you're curious about what that looks like, book a call with me. I've opened up some slots. You guys can scan this QR code and have a chat with me. I don't work with everybody and I don't expect everybody to work with me because it's not for everyone. But if it is a mutual fit, then I will definitely guide you in the right way. And at the very least, we'll have a chat and I can build out a quick plan for you as far as like where you're at, where you want to be, and fill that gap. And best case scenario, we end up working together and you guys see some amazing results. But if not, there's no pressure. Now let's get into it. Okay, I hope you guys are ready. Let me do a quick time check and we're good. So, some things you can do immediately in order to get results in client conversations are start posting on social. Surprise, surprise. But these are very specific posts that I want you guys to do because they will get you quick wins. Okay. Um, you can take a picture of this. You will get the recording, but take a picture of this if you want, because this is something you can start doing right away. So if I was a, now don't quote me on this, but I'm reading reports and I'm hearing from my clients that first-time home buyers are the predominant percentage, like they're the predominant percentage of people that are buying right now. So if I was a first-time home buyer trying to buy my first home in 2026 or in less than 3 months or whatever the case may be, without overpaying or without this, here are 10 things I would do, 11 things I would do, 21 things I would do. I don't care. And then put a CTA there. CTA means call to action. Think about who you're targeting. Create a post like this. You could do this as a carousel, which means, like you have a nice picture in it. For those of you who are wondering how to do this, I have an example of this on my Instagram. So connect with me. You guys will be able to see my post example of this. I have one. If I was a realtor trying to close 5 more deals, here's what I would do. So you can kind of follow that format and think about your ideal client, what they're trying to achieve within a certain time frame, and how you can help them. Okay. So that's the one post. The second post that from a social perspective that I want you guys to do is here's what most people don't realize about buying right now. A lot of people think that the best time to buy was last year, but the truth is, every market has its window, and these are some of the hidden advantages that you may not know about. Save this even if you're thinking about buying soon, or share it with somebody that you know. So something like this, see, is very there's psychological triggers that are built into posts like these, and they're proven to work over and over again. And they get people thinking, they're conversation starters, and they have a lot of context, and they're again, I don't have time to get into this right now, but they're very specifically crafted to get your results. Okay. The next post you may want to take a picture of is I have, and now your authority intro. Something you've done that they're also trying to do and you learn from. So it's doing a few different things, right? There's a few different psychological triggers in here. Number one, hey, I've tried to, I've bought an investment property. My biggest mistakes, at first I thought this, but then I learned this, avoid my mistakes, and this is the result. Again, it's very strategically crafted. You can get AI to help you with this stuff, but again, think about a personal story that actually that you can share here to build that authority. But also what you're doing is there's the authority trigger, but there's also the resonance, the vulnerability. And there's something this does to people that just helps them resonate with you on a deeper level, okay? And then the other post that you want to do now, I'm just giving you 4 social posts because again, we only have so much time, but here's what happened in the market. Do a video. Here's my 2 cents on it, and here's what this means to you. Here's what happened. Here are my 2 cents. Here's what this means to you. Again, going back to what I spoke about at the beginning, the certainty aspect, right? That certainty, that not just regurgitating information. You know, my favorite, okay, my pet peeve, and if you are that agent, I'm calling you out right now, is whenever your brokerage or Treb or your board or whatever board you're with releases a market update and you just copy and paste it in your stories, zero context provided. Absolutely don't do that. Stop that. Don't do that. It's doing nothing. You're just creating pollution in the social sphere. Don't do that. This is what you need to do. Now, I'm going to stop sharing for a second. These posts work. These videos work. They will get you engagement. If you want to be, and if you have the budget for it, I would highly recommend that you boost them and post them on Instagram, put a little bit of money behind them, whether it's 50 bucks, $100, like it doesn't have to be a lot, but you will start seeing new people liking, new people commenting, things like that. That'll start happening and it absolutely works. Okay. Whoops, that's the wrong one. Let me get out of this one. Sharing a wrong presentation with you guys. Bear with me. And this is why I don't go full screen mode, because now I've lost the presentation. Bear with me. Okay. There we are. All right, brilliant. And so there we go. Okay. Now, once you've boosted some of these posts, like ideally you can post one a week of these 4 posts, try that for the next month, see how it goes. For the market update one, I would say honestly start with that one now because it's the 7th of the month and the previous month's statistics are in and you guys have all the data. Really sit down, digest it. Don't be afraid to give your 2 cents on it. Give your opinion. Give your opinion. Share stories about my clients are seeing this. We're doing this. This is what's happening. That is what's happening. Like, try it out. I promise you, it's worth it. And then put a little bit of money behind it and start seeing new people coming in. The second thing you need to do is then have a DM closing system. Now, we teach our clients this, we give them a whole manual on this, but now that you are posting this, you'll start seeing new engagement, right? You'll start seeing likes coming in, comments coming in from people that are new. Maybe people start watching your stories now, or DM, whatever. Understanding what each of these means, right? A like is a light signal, comment is a conversation signal, story view is a warm signal, DM is a direct signal. So really start understanding the difference between these, but they all mean something. They all mean something. And here's a DM you can send out. And I will actually give you some more as well. Again, start taking pictures of these if you want them immediately. If you have patience, I will upload this to a site. Like I'll give you guys the replay, but if you want it right now because you want to execute today, which I hope you do, then take a picture. So, hey, Susan, quick question. Are you thinking about moving this year? Staying put for now? Got it. Would it help if I sent you some updated listings? Da da da. One-on-one DMs. People are sleeping in our industry on DM marketing, and it is so, so effective. Another set of openers, okay? So depending on where someone's at, if someone follows you, if someone liked something you posted about buyers, if they engaged with your content, again, asking soft questions and not pitching too early. Remember, I showed you guys that communication ladder. DMs are not like deep. They're not too deep. But they can get there if they give you that signal of they write you an essay, absolutely reply with a voice note and then ask them to hop on a call. Still try to move them out of the DMs. If someone sends you a message, you ask them, hey, I see that you liked my market update video. I was just checking in. I just, checking out the market or enjoying some real estate inspiration. Oh, yeah, actually, I am checking out the market. Da, da, da. If they give you more, continue that, reply in that same communication channel, but then take them out of there. So that's super, super important. Again, rapport first, encouraging conversations around their needs, but letting them set the pace. Again, if they do, go ahead. Avoid hard selling language, Um, more like, hey, let me guide you, explore options, like don't go full on real estate sales or anything like that. I have an entire, like we have in our program, we do have a full system which we give you all the scripts, all the transcripts, everything for every situation so that you are never stuck on what to say. And now if you want to take it a level further, again, something we install with our clients is you guys have seen those, right? The ready for more, DM me this word, and then it automatically starts sending you a sequence of messages. I do it too. That's through a program called ManyChat. There's other programs that do that as well, but super, super important that if you want to really level up this campaign, like the posting on social, boosting, then DMing them, if you want to use that, then ManyChat is one way in which you can do it as well. Yeah, this was actually like from one of our clients. She messaged me. I had a call with her. They started the DM system literally the day before, and they got a listing appointment from it. And she was very reluctant to implement it. And the next day they got a listing appointment. She's like, this is too easy. I'm like, well, you got lucky early, but it does work. For some people, it works sooner. For some people, it works later, but nonetheless, it works. Now, I want to talk to you about ads, okay? Because again, we're talking about campaigns that you can run. So posting content, boosting it, using ManyChat, using DMs to build that connection. And then another way in which you can have, of course, more business more systematically is running ads. And I could do an hour talk on ads, 2 hour talk on ads, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to give you guys this in a condensed format today because the leads are not the problem. And I'll say this again, the leads are not the problem. The leads are not bleep. The leads are not bad. A lead is a lead is a lead. It's a person that took a first step towards you. We don't know where they're at in this journey. It's ambiguous. So our job is not to get too hung up on that. It's to understand that, okay, I'll do some quick lead math for you. I'll stop sharing my screen. And then I can't find the presentation again, but we'll see. I'll do some quick lead math with you. Typically speaking, if we're running an ad on Meta, because this refers to Meta ads, I'm not talking about Google ads. I'm talking about Meta ads. If you're doing Facebook, Instagram ads, whatever, you will typically be able to get a lead from anywhere, and this ranges, right, from $2 to say $8 a lead. So let's find a sweet spot. Let's say $5 a lead is the average that you're getting, maybe six. And you're spending $600, so you're getting 100 leads. Out of those 100 leads, our industry conversion rate is 1%. So that means out of 600, you're converting one person. Figure out your time investment. Now, if you have a system and if you're systematically spending that much money every single month and you have certain ads you're running, you have nurture campaigns, that conversion rate could be 2%. That conversion rate could be 1.5%. That conversion rate can go up. And the likelihood of that conversion rate going up is directly linked to what systems you have running in the background. So by having content on your social, you're increasing the chances of converting more leads because these people are on your social media now. They clicked on your Instagram ad, they looked at your Instagram profile, they saw your video, they liked your video, now there's a DM. Do you see how it's all connected? That's why when people want to do isolated things without having systems in place, again, unpredictable. I don't know what your results are going to be. If you want results like the ones that I showed you at the beginning, you have to install a full system so that you can see predictable results, because then your likelihood just increases. If you're relying simply on calling yourself 100 leads, compounds quickly, right? Because if you get 600 leads over the course of, say, 100 leads, sorry, over the course of a month, then out of those 100 leads, you call maybe, you get maybe 10 a day, 5 a day, 3 pick up, 2 don't pick up. They now, it's a snowball effect. It compounds very quickly. So all of a sudden by day 13, you're making 20 calls a day. So it's time consuming if you're simply relying on calling alone. But if you have these other supportive things in place that help you convert, that 1% conversion rate could turn into 1.5, can turn into 2. So all of a sudden, out of every 100 leads, you're converting 2 people, not one. that means your cost of acquisition per deal goes down to $300, not $600. So you have to really think about these things. It's all numbers. And this is how we build predictability through systems, right? We really think about how do we increase the likelihood of converting this lead. So back to this. So right presentation this time. Great. Just get you guys leads in this market, right? Because you do need them. There's 3 campaigns I recommend running. We've all seen, and I'm not going to talk about your generic campaigns that everybody already knows how to run, like your property ads, things like that, but a local guide ad, biggest mistakes to avoid when moving to, and a homes you can afford ad. The good thing about the first 2 ads is if you're familiar with Meta, you know that Facebook Ads Manager has placed a lot of restrictions for people on how you can geographically target people because it doesn't want you to discriminate when it comes to housing. It's considered a special category. So these 2 ads are a way around it. So you're not advertising real estate. So you're able to actually build a list and target more hyper locally. Now, your ad may still get rejected or not get rejected. You have to play around with it, okay? But you're more now positioning yourself as somebody who is putting together a relocation guide. Again, take a picture of this. You guys can run this ad. Super simple, right? Like, hey, if you're moving here, I've put together a quick guide, everything you need to know before you start looking, da da da. And you can more hyper locally create that. Now, if this gets rejected, remove anything from the copy that would insinuate that this is anything to do with real estate. And you can start to, position and take advantage of all the hyper local targeting options that Facebook has. All right, next one. This one, number one mistake you see people making when they move, they start with this. I've helped many people relocate. These are the mistakes to avoid. Remember, it kind of coincides. We had a similar theme in our social media as well, like, hey, number one mistakes to avoid. So you have similar themes here. They just help us really attract leads. And the last ad, I hope you took a picture of this. The last ad I want to share with you guys here today is, hey, think you can't afford a home. Again, this is because there's a lot of first-time home buyers, and this you may not have the luxury of doing hyperlocal targeting, but I will say something. Even though you're not able to really target hyperlocally with a lot of real estate ads and most real estate ads, I should say, Facebook's algorithm and the Meta ads algorithm is very smart and it actually wants you to succeed, spend more money, run more ads. And the only way you're going to do that is if you're getting good results. So it's in everybody's best interest to get you more results. And the only tip I will give you is if your budget is $10 a day, don't start with 10, start with 8. Then a few days later, add another dollar, then add another dollar. You don't want to go in immediately. And if you start seeing results on the same token, if you start seeing results and you've closed a lead and you're like, okay, I'm going to take a budget. Now I'm going to go up to $1,000 or 1,500 a month. Don't jump incrementally increase your budget by 20 to 25% at a time because otherwise, again, you're not going to see the results the way that you would if you slowly increase your budget. The next thing you need to do is reactivate your database. Okay, so obviously we've talked about this, something very, very simple, taking old leads, dead leads. Now, I talk a lot about, marketing, email marketing, things like that. Dean Jackson is somebody I learned email marketing from. Great, great guy. You should check him out if you don't know who that is. But here's a touch point. Okay. A lot of the times I think we haven't spoken to a lead. And I think if I asked all of you here, is there a deal sitting in your database that has not materialized as a result of you not following up? Everybody will say yes. And if you're not saying yes, then you are doing a great job at following up or you're not being realistic because everyone has a deal sitting around. It could be in your followers, it could be in your email list, it could be somewhere, but it's there, I promise you. So oftentimes it's been so long that we haven't touched base with a lead that there's that awkwardness, right? We don't want to touch base with people, but we have to. We really have to get past, again, if you want results, you have to get over all of it, including yourself, and just go ahead and do it and say something like, hey, I'll be honest, I know I dropped the ball on staying in touch and I hate that. If you don't want to say it exactly like this, don't say it exactly like this, but this is a framework. And rather than pretend that didn't happen, hey, are you still thinking about buying or selling? That addresses the awkwardness up front. It gets it out of the way. Like, I know I've been really bad at staying in touch, and I do apologize and about to change that. I plan to change that. I plan to stay more consistently in contact, but are you still thinking about it, or has life taken you in a different direction? So again, you're giving people, it's framed very specifically. So that's the first touch point, right? The apology is the pattern interrupt. It gets their attention. Most agents don't do that. Either answer is fine. It removes the sales pressure that made them go quiet, and then a different direction gives them a dignified exit, which, paradoxically actually makes them respond. So that's why this is, from a psychological perspective, a really good one. And then this is, I'm not going to read it out, but this is the next text you're going to send. And again, the idea with this one, and this can be an email, this can be a text message, this can be, one of the two. But it's again more, hey, it's okay if you don't want to stay in touch, no problem. But would it be okay if I keep sending you monthly reports? So you're getting their permission to nurture them. You need to declutter your list, right? You can't continue building on top of an uncertain mess. You need to clear out your database. You need to be very clear on where people are at and nurture the ones where it's worth it, and absolutely leave the ones alone that don't want you and we're never going to convert anyway, and continue adding into that pipeline. So, so important. Um, and the last piece today, the fifth campaign I want to talk about today is live interaction, right? I spoke about that briefly before, but it's so underutilized in our industry. And a live interaction can be anything, okay? A live interaction can be you going live on Instagram quickly, you doing a quick Zoom session, or like you doing, it could be honestly so many different things. It can be you doing a quick podcast. It could be, it's usually one of those things, but people are afraid of a live interaction because it's, oh my God, what if I make a mistake? That's fine. I'm doing a live interaction with you guys right now. I couldn't figure out which presentation to show you guys. I need to take a break and drink a quick sip of water. Hang on. And that's because I'm human and you're human and it's normal and that's okay. And, I've done lives where I have kids in the background crying and my nephew's running around and dogs jumping on me. I've had it all happen to me, and it's okay. I did an open house one once where literally the dog wouldn't leave me alone, and I still went live and I still did it. So live interaction is really, really cool. Again, remember the communication ladder. It allows you to build trust in a concentrated way. A really cool and easy, easy live interaction, if you've never done it before, is again talking about data. And I'm a big advocate of this in general, and this is nothing to do with the campaigns. This is just everything to do with you being a real estate agent and knowing what you're doing. You knowing numbers and the data and your market and having knowledge is absolute bare minimum in today's day and age if you want to be an authority in the market space. And if you're new to the business, you need to time block every single day every single day to learn the market. When I was new to the business, I would spend an hour to 2 hours every single morning learning the market. I would check MLS 6 to 7 times a day. I would go book showings every single day so I could learn my market. And you could have woken me up at 2 a.m. in the morning and asked me a floor plan, what's sold, what's on the market, and I could have told you. So that's the level of market knowledge you need to acquire. So pulling up stats, etc., is a really easy way for you to start and, dip your toes into going live. And you can show them, hey, this is what's happening overall. But if you would like for me to give you an analysis like this in depth for your market, I can do that. Again, a really easy way for you to get people in, right? You could do a real talk session. A lot of agents aren't doing that. Like, hey, real talk, no fluff. Should I buy or sell? Should I buy in 2026 or wait? Make it really casual, make it Q&A. A lot of us make this mistake of structuring these too much and making it more like a presentation. And that's like, nobody really wants that. So if you can just be like, hey, let's keep it real. Should you or should you not? Um, have people ask you questions. You can do that live on Instagram. You can do that as a Zoom seminar. Again, we we actually install this with our clients when we work with them one-on-one, but that's going to be huge. And there's another like way if you want to do this more strategically around a specific topic, like buying pre-construction, buying your first home, break it down into 4 micro topics, host one every week. Again, you can take a screenshot of this. So I know we're nearing the end today, so I'm hoping that everybody got something out of it. Now, I know I threw a lot at you and I asked you guys to take pictures. I will send you a follow-up email with a lot of this content so you can have a workbook almost to work out of and at least get started with a lot of these things so you can, start running these ads, start running some of these lives. But I promise you, again, it's not that you're not consistent. You just don't have a system right now. And this is where you have to become the agent that has these processes. As I said, I showed you guys a real example of results that are possible in this market in the first quarter of the business of the year. It's a web. You increase the likelihood of succeeding. And the more you do that, the more predictable your business becomes because now you know your numbers. You know if you do X, then Y will be the result. And that, going back to the first thing we spoke about, provides you with safety, gives you predictability. It reduces your stress levels. It reduces your error levels. It allows you to enjoy what you're doing, allows you to grow the business, scale the business, bring people in, step away from it, go on holiday without having to worry about what's happening over there. Not waking up one day with the panic rushing through your whole body of where's my next deal going to come from. These things are very real things that happen to us, and ultimately they impact our health, our well-being. And that is the worst thing that can happen because we have it not very easy. I'll be honest, I'm going to call it out. It's not easy being a real estate agent in this market unless you have a business machine built out. It is very stressful, especially if it's the only source of income that you have. It's not easy. So don't make it harder on yourself by being on this roller coaster forever. Take a step back and implement. And you're not going to be able to do that if you continue to consume more information. You don't need more information. You don't need another course. You don't need to watch another video that's 2 hours long and then you're never taking action. You don't need to sign up for another AI service and Claude Code for realtors. You don't need that. You need a simple system that you install, okay? Because information lives in your notes app. Installation lives in your calendar and your environment and your defaults. One requires you to remember, the other runs without you. You need to take the time to install, okay? So here's what I'm gonna quickly talk to you guys about. If any of this resonated with you and you guys want to learn more about how I can help you do this, book a call with me right now. Take out your phone, scan the QR code, and find it. I've opened up my calendar for this week because this is my priority. I want to bring on board people that want to build during the summer and not just sit around and wait for the full market and then be like, I don't know what I'm doing. We don't want that. We want to make sure that we give you the system fully installed so that you can be running with it in the fall and forever thereafter. So a quick thing is it's basically going to be booked in 90. So we're going to actually install these things together with you, right? So I don't believe in myself or I don't call myself a coach necessarily. I don't even know what I am, but I think I'm an implementation specialist. I've done this for over a decade now, and I think the word coach, trainer, it just gets thrown around. It means nothing, but I can promise you what I will give you and what you will walk away with if you do choose to work with me is a installed system. We actually put these things in. You roll up your sleeves, quite literally, and we work with you on this. It's an implementation program. We give you a personalized blueprint. We help you with your CRM. With all these campaigns I've shown you, it's just some of them because I have an hour today. But if you work with me and if you are interested in learning more about this, we actually install the whole system for you, with you into your business. So there's no more excuses. Now, again, here is the QR code if you want to book a call with me. I'm not somebody that pressures anyone. So if you want to just chat with me and see If I can help you in any other way, you can absolutely do that too. This has to be a good fit and it has to be an alignment. Um, and I'm also going to send you guys like a quick nervous system reset thing that we've created, which I'm really, really proud of. So I'll send that to you guys so you guys have something to keep yourself sane in a sometimes insane market. So this brings me to the end of today. I am thankful for each and every one of you who took the time, trusted me with their time, is here today. If you have any questions, pop them in the chat. I'll keep an eye out for the next few minutes. If you have any feedback, please pop it in the chat. Always open to hearing how you guys enjoyed the presentation today. But I think just really asking yourself some of these key questions could help you move the needle in this business and where you want to go, where you want to be. Remember, you don't have an information problem, you have an installation problem. Um, Installation is everything. We have to move with the times. Thank you, Patty. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Ramneet. Thank you, Sylvia. Thank you, Advinder. Thank you, Millen. Thank you, Sophia. Thank you, Marsha. Thank you, Shanu. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Hodge. You guys are great. Don't forget to tag me if you guys post a story on Instagram. I want to make sure that I'm able to also talk about the fact that I did a presentation here today. Um, but yeah, I hope to see some of you during a 15-minute discovery call as well. And thank you, Roger. Thank you, Barbara. Appreciate it. Thank you. This is so kind. You guys are lovely. You guys showed up. That's the biggest thing. There's 160 of you that registered today, 163, I think last I checked, and only a fraction showed up, and the rest are going to wait for the recording, which is never the same. Showing up live, being here, sharing the energy with the group, there's something very special about that that helps you really move forward. So, very excited. And if we don't have any more questions, I'm going to go ahead and end this, and you will get an email from me. I appreciate you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of the World Cup, and I will see you guys in another session soon.